Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts, and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome everybody, let's take a look again on the Forex market. Today we prepared combined update in the euro currency and the cable, because you can see overall price action stands relatively slow, and actually the recent rally has become some kind of was announced too strong, but in fact the action has become really very small, and it's definitely not the reaction that investors have expected and traders on the forex markets as well. So in particular speaking, here we also have a few moments that could bring some more downside pressure on the euro currency, on the cable as well. So if you remember, we start from the Great British pound. This is daily chart. If you remember, once we have seen this reversal candle and in general this reaction on the major weekly XLP, we said, well, it's very probable that market should reach at least at 137. But once market has shown this first downside action, then some fundamental background has changed a bit, some more positivity, some more positive news have come on the market, and you can see this upward bounce. Meantime, this market now is forming some kind of the triangle pattern, which is potentially could be the downside continuation pattern, because usually symmetric triangles is a continuation pattern. And you could see that recently on the price action, inability of the market to pass through this resistance, market has formed a bearish grabber. So this grabber suggests the taking out of these lows, which means the breakout of the triangle, and it means that if this pattern works properly, we should get market somewhere around 37, so the first target could be reached. So it will be some kind of, I don't know, maybe it's A, B, C, D pattern, you could consider something of that sort. But appearing of the grabber is an important thing, and that tells us that until market keeps it valid, it would be better to not consider taking the long position. So for buying the cable, it makes sense to consider upper breakout, usually maybe stop buy order about this area. So the grabber has to be cancelled before any consideration of the taking long position on the market. So the same story you could see on the fall time frame chart. At the first glance, market is trying to move higher, forming even some kind of the head and shoulders pattern inside of it. We also talked about this, and the actual reaction on the Fed was nice, it's the same as in the euro. But once market reached this resistance, you can see what has happened. So in case of the head and shoulders, market has to break it up and not continue upward action. But instead of that, you can see the pullbacks. Market just has returned right back down, and now stands inside of this range. This is also doesn't look really very bullish, and well, if you're planning to take the long position, it would be better to not do this until bearish pattern is valid. So market has to erase this pattern that actually led us to consider taking the long position. Until pattern is valid, it's better to not do this. So for taking the short position, it's opposite scenario. So while you would like to take the bet using this grabber, it's very simple, because you know where the invalidation point right above this area, and you could try to take the position inside of this recent swing, which provide you very small potential loss of this trade if you're consider taking the short position. The same story actually on the euro currency. Currently, you could see that overall price behavior here is not really impressive. Based on the recent action, let's start from the hourly chart first, because we talked about this action on the hourly chart. The market has dropped below the confidence that we have suggested. So although overall setup, bullish setup, is not destroyed, since this is our invalidation point, if you remember, we're using this fall time frame chart ABCD pattern for potential upward action. But overall price behavior recently was not really very bullish. So breaking of the confidence, well, it's rally on the interest rates recently. It's of course not really positive sign for the euro currency as well. So currently you could decide what to do. For instance, as market right now is retesting the same confidence, you could out on the break even within the few minutes probably. It is possible, or alternatively, you could try to go right to the end and trying to hold the position because invalidation point is still valid. It's not been hit, and potentially, theoretically, our setup keeps its validity, and we also even could draw here, as I put here on the chart, a bullish butterfly. So that has the theoretical chances to be formed, but butterfly itself doesn't bring something really new because actually it has the same invalidation point. So it's just the shape of the pattern that theoretical market could complete. This OP target will be met. So in general, to see the upward strong action on the euro currency, definitely should happen something on providing some fundamental news that could push price higher, because on the performance that we have recent action on yesterday, so overall, and breakout of the confidence, well, from the technical point of view, this is signs of weakness. And so overall, setup is not as attractive as it could be if, for instance, market will show just pull back to the confidence, forming some kind of the guarded triple to buy, and then restarting upward actions, breaking the confidence, dropping almost back to the lows of the C point. This is, of course, makes overall setup weaker. But, as I said, in general, it's still valid. So that's the choice for you, whether to out on the break-even as market right now is returning back to the confidence, or keep the position and trying to get some result, hoping that maybe to the end of the session something will change and the euro currency could accelerate higher and reaching the target. So that's approximately what we have on the euro currency on the cable.